Welcome to this week's edition of the Commish Report. My name is Kevin Jeffrey, your moderator, and I'm joined as always by District 1 County Commissioner Katie Delaney. And Katie, always something going on in the County District 1 and the County Commission. You guys talked about, you have a great idea about how to reclaim community.
Yes.
And so you've been talking about this. So tell us about what that is and how it operates.
Sure. So one of the things when I was running for office, on all my signs, it said reclaim our community. And so I've been thinking about that, like, what does that mean now that I'm elected? What does this look like? And one of the things that I really feel passionate about is what makes our country great is that the power really lies in the people. And so one of the things that I wanted to do was kind of create a vision statement to just keep that at the forefront of my mind all the time. And so what I've landed on is empowering D1 residents to reclaim our community. And so that's just what I want to focus on, is helping our residents figure out how to become effective, strategic citizens and how to fight for your community. Because, you know, as a commissioner, I'm only going to be here at the very most 8 years. We have term limits. And so we need a citizenry that is armed with the Constitution, that is armed with the laws that we have of this land and know how to use them to their advantages. And so that's really something that I have tried to focus on. It's why I spend so much time trying to get the word out on different things going on in the community. I'm trying to use my Substack to get articles out so that people are aware of different mechanisms that they can use to engage with government. My Facebook page, all these things to just try to get as much information out to the public, because information is power. And so the more that people are armed with the information, the grander they can reclaim their community and make it into a community that they want.
And ultimately, it's the people that actually have to be engaged.
Right.
I mean, you can't do it for them. I
Right.
mean, the people have to want to be engaged in
Absolutely.
changing things, right?
And I really, in my experience so far, I really feel like people want to be engaged. It's just that they have felt like they haven't been listened to for so long that it's like, they're like, what's the point when, you know, why am I going to spend all these hours away from my family, away from my other responsibilities when my elected officials don't listen? And I know that's how I felt for a really long time. One thing that I've promised my constituents is that I'm here to represent you. I'm here to speak on your behalf. And I've worked really hard to stay engaged with the community and different facets. I go to homeowners associations. I go to all different kind of group meetings, neighborhood meetings. I do town halls. I do all sorts of things to make sure that I'm with the people all throughout my district. And my door's always open, and anyone who calls my office, I'll meet with anybody. So I don't care if you're politically aligned with me or not. You're still my constituent. I'm still here to represent you. So if I can help in any way, I'm going to do that.
So is there any specific thing that people can do if they, in order to get involved with this initiative that you have of Reclaim Our Community?
Honestly, I'm happy to help in any capacity. If people want to ask me, you know, how do I get involved? There's advisory boards. You can create a group within your own community to stay actively engaged in topics that you care about. For instance, one of the ones, there's a Speak Up Brevard work group that came about, and these citizens just took it upon themselves to start this group to see how we can make this Speak Up Brevard process better. And they're going through it, and they've got some great ideas, and I've met with them a few times already. And so that's just one example. But any kind of topic that somebody's interested in, I'd be happy to help them facilitate. Like, maybe I know a few people that are interested in the same thing they are, and I could help connect them. Really, it's about networking and getting to know our community members. We've become such a disconnected citizenry because of social media, cell phones, the internet, all of that stuff. We're not as engaged with each other as we have been in the past. And so I think that is really where we went wrong as a society. We need to look up from our phones, we need to get engaged, and we need to talk to our neighbors.
Government, the one that's in the American Constitution, it was predicated on the people and their engagement.
Right.
And so the people are the government.
Absolutely.
You're their representative.
Right.
But they've kind of just ceded that to the representatives and just checked out.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, there are a lot of people out there. I mean, like yourself, me, there's so many others in this community that are trying to get through that brick wall, but we need more. We need more citizens to help, because we need the voices of the many. And
which a lot of the people, there's a lot more people out there that would agree.
So many. When I'm out there talking to all these different groups, they all feel the same way. And they're all different. It's not like I'm only going to Republican clubs or something like that. I'm at all different types of groups, even ones that aren't really about politics. And they all say the same thing. And it's that they don't feel heard, and they want more connection with the government. And I feel like my job as a commissioner, as an elected official, our job is to be a bridge for the citizens to work with the government.
And so that's something that you're going to continue to work on.
Definitely.
In the meantime, you have Speak Up Brevard, as you mentioned.
Yes.
And so you had some great ideas about that.
Yes.
That was brought forth at the county commission meeting.
It was.
And everybody said, glory, hallelujah, kumbaya, let's go with it.
I wish. So unfortunately, Tom Goodson was totally against it. He actually had a prepared statement that he was against any changes to the program. He thinks it's just perfect. He thinks that it's a redundant process. I keep getting this talking point from staff about how, there are other ways for citizens to engage the government. And, one of the ways that they always talk about is, well, they could just bring it forward to their commissioner. And I don't know about you, Kevin, but in the years prior, before I was commissioner, I tried to engage with my commissioner many, many times, and it just didn't happen. And when I got into office, when I was looking through some of the files that were left over in my office, I found this book for basically the rules and procedures for the office from prior commissioners. And it actually said in there, do not take meetings with activists.
Wow.
And I'm like, no wonder I never got a meeting.
Wow.
So it's not as easy to engage with your elected official as they're making it sound. The really special thing about this program is that the staff has to respond. They have to give a response to the citizen. Some of the changes that I was hoping to make was, right now it's a 30-day submission period. I wanted to extend it to 60 days. So that people had more time to get their ideas in, so it wasn't such a rushed process. Then I wanted to implement the workshop. I wanted to get that in the policy so that it happens automatically in the years forward. We had a great workshop this year. It was extremely successful. The citizens loved it. I thought the commissioners really enjoyed the interaction and the ideas. It was basically like one big think tank, and it was just, the energy in that room was just so incredible. So I'd really love to get that workshop in there. And then I would like...
So it was in there this year, but it's, as you said, it's not codified.
Right, correct.
To be there every year.
Right.
So each year you're going to have to come back and fight for it.
Right,
Okay.
Exactly. And then I wanted to shorten the amount of time that the staff had with the suggestions to give a response, because it was 45 days. Then they extended it to, I believe it was 90 days. And so I'm asking for 60 days. I'm asking for a middle there, because I think that the commissioners need more time with the recommendations from the staff and with the suggestions from the citizens, so that if we so choose, we have the time to really look through each and every one of these suggestions, maybe even reach out to the person who sent in the submission, so that we could get to a really good solution to some issue. Unfortunately, it got tabled, but that's not a horrible thing, because it means it's not dead. So we still have some hope that, this is going to go forward.
Why was it tabled?
I think that they just weren't ready to go forward with it yet, and it seemed like Commissioner Altman was supportive of some of the suggestions that I made to the policy, and I didn't really get a great read with the other two commissioners, especially a couple of the ones that I really feel like are the hills that I will die on, you know, is the workshop getting put into the policy. And I also asked for the Speak Up Brevard vote to have its own special meeting. And I feel strongly about this because at the last two cycles of Speak Up Brevard, the votes were done at the end of very long meetings. And so by the time we got to Speak Up Brevard, it was like kind of pushed through very fast. The first year, I actually had to leave early because at that point I was a citizen in the audience because I had to get to work. And so I wasn't even able to stay to give my public comment on that because of that situation. Or last session or cycle, it was at the end of a 5-hour meeting, and all these people, they were there, they were waiting this whole time, and then it just felt like rushed, you know, and people really put in a lot of time and effort into these suggestions, and I just feel like it's just another level of respect we could give to the citizens, that it's just an olive branch to show them we value you, we value your opinions, and we value this program.
So after it being tabled, when will it be brought back up?
So when I bring it back up.
Okay.
So my plan, because this month we have a lot of the budget hearings, I'm probably going to bring it up after that, just because we've got a really important discussion to have over our budget.
So there's only one county commission meeting this month, and it's because of the budget meetings.
Right.
So regarding the budget meetings, can citizens come and speak on this?
Yes, and I encourage people to come and speak because there's a lot of decisions that are going to be made this year. They're talking about raising possibly the parks MSTUs and possibly the fire MSTU. And so there's a lot of decisions that are going to be made. And I don't believe that, even though the numbers that were sent out on the trim notices, I don't believe that the commissioners are set in stone on those numbers. I think that there is wiggle room to get those numbers down.
Down.
They
Okay.
are not allowed to go up. So I don't want to worry anyone. But I think there is wiggle room from the commissioners for some of those numbers to go down, because the conversation that was had during that time was we really truly wanted the citizens to come out and give us their input on this, because we got to know, are parks important to you? Do you want this money to go to your parks? We got to know, do you want this money to go to your firefighters? Because while we did get the firefighters a good contract, the pay went up considerably, but the thing that we didn't get in the contract was the work-life balance. Without that work-life balance piece, we are not going to get veteran firefighters back in our department. And that's what we truly need. We need experience back in our fire department. Unless we raise that MSTU, we won't have the funding to do that in a contract further down the line.
From the citizens' involvement, is this like me, what I do with my wife? She keeps telling me things. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. And I'm like, yeah. And then when it happens, I say, what happened?
Right.
What did you didn't tell me about this.
Right.
Is that kind of what is happening here with the budget?
You know, I think that, like I was saying before, the people are just so frustrated with government. And
well, you saw it on our poll.
Right.
Last week they said that 1% confidence
right.
in the county commission and the cities.
And the thing is that, you know, I've been running our staff ragged, unfortunately, going through this budget with them, because there's not a whole lot of fat. So the hard part about this is that there's not a whole lot of fat that we could just say, just cut this. We don't need to do that. The thing that really is costing us a lot of money, in my opinion, after really diving into this, is the procurement process. And not that anybody is doing a wrong job. The thing that's happening is we're not getting the vendors to apply to VendorLink. And I keep being told it's because of E-Verify, it's because of, these different things that are holding local businesses back from wanting to do business with the government. And so one of the things that I'm trying to push is we need to start soliciting vendors to apply, because we are spending so much money on things because there's one vendor. There's no competition.
Yeah, right.
And so when you bring in competition, that's where you get the better pricing. So we really need to do a better job of soliciting these vendors to come and work with us in the county and in the government in general. And I think that really is, from what I've spoken to my peers across multiple governments, it's across the board. They're all feeling the same thing.
So why is this that you're not getting? And you said it's the E-Verify, and it's...
So what the staff has told me is that basically it's insurance requirements, it's the E-Verify, it's just the process that you have to go through to get approved to work for the county. It's just so much that small businesses, they feel like, well, I'm probably not going to get picked anyway, so what's the point? And so it just is really, it's making things very expensive for us, because we're getting one company or two companies that put in for it, and they do top dollar, and
Of course.
it's what we have to do, So
I think you're forced into a one-sided
Right.
one-sided price. Yeah, that's never good. It's interesting about E-Verify.
Right.
That has a lot of implications too.
A lot of business owners in Brevard County, and they're not all hiring illegal immigrants and all of this stuff. So it's silly to me. I feel like we need to maybe put out like a checklist and do some more marketing and do some more educating to business owners that this process isn't as bad as it sounds or seems. And you probably do have, the liability requirements in your insurance policy that we would also require.
It's just protecting the town.
Right. Yeah. And the business, and so I think that's the missing piece here, that we need to do a better job soliciting more vendors so that we can get a more competitive price. I point to this a lot, but it was a great example. Our Fire Station 22, they needed a new roof. When they went out for the bidding process, I want to say it was somewhere around $180,000 they were told that they were going to have to spend. Luckily, our fire chief was like, I'm not spending $180,000 on a roof. So he went out and he solicited. He went out and kind of told people, hey, can you go through this process, because we need to find a more affordable bid. And we ended up finding somebody, I believe it was $52,000.
Wow.
So, I mean, $130,000 savings right there. And, this is not a one-off.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
pretty consistent.
Yes, definitely.
Advisability for SB 180, you made a recommendation that the county look into joining
Yes.
the lawsuits against SB 180. How did that go?
Yes. So that went forward. Our lawyers are going to come back and give us a recommendation on what we should do there. I think that I put out my opinion on the dais, and I personally believe that it's in our best interest that we do. We have to protect home rule at all costs. The power relies on the people, and the lowest government, the closest to the people. We should have the authority to shape our communities. And SB 180 strips that power from us, strips that authority from us, and it's just not right, especially when District 1 and in the south end of the county, the Grant Valcaria, Mico area, those are our last bits of land in this county. And at least in the north end, I'm more experienced in what's going on up here. We have a very volatile system going on here with flooding and whatnot. I mean, if we start just developing willy-nilly up in North Brevard, I mean, we're already having problems with people's homes flooding, inside people's homes. So, I mean, if we don't push back against this, I don't know what's going to happen.
So you have this problem up in Edgewater. Were you surprised with what the city council did at Edgewater?
I was proud of them. I was so proud of
Because
them.
the lawyer explained it
Right.
right at the beginning.
Yeah.
We ran it on Brevard News.
Right.
He told them the possibility that you can be sued,
Yep.
that the governor can remove you from office,
Right.
so forth. The citizens came in and told him, we want you to stick with this.
Right. And you know, I understand Governor DeSantis. I supported him heavily in the past 2 elections. Actually, because of my school board activism and advocacy, I have always been a huge supporter of him. And this just seems so out of character because in those realms, it's all about parental rights. It's all about the individual's rights. And I'm just shocked that our legislature and our governor are not seeing that this is an individual right issue. And they're all talking about, well, you know, the gates have opened, all these people are moving here. Well, how about the people who have supported you all for all these years and the people who already live here and have been paying taxes and so on? We have property rights too.
Right.
And so what about our right to protect our homes?
In that situation in Edgewater, they were having severe flooding problems. And so they put in a moratorium against building.
Right.
And so they're wanting them to remove the moratorium.
Right.
For what? To cause more flooding?
Right.
So when do the rights of the people in that area, when are they taken care of?
Right. And the thing is that now these people are being forced out of their homes because the government has just said, they've just written it off and said, you know, this is now a flooding area, even though it hasn't historically been a flooding area.
But they created it.
Right, they've created it. And so now because of that, people are getting, it's like what they do with eminent domain. They give you minimal, nominal money for your land, and they say, thank you for your service to the government, and push you away. It's the same kind of thing. They flooded these people out, and they're giving them a few dollars to say, thank you for your land for our new retention pond. And what are people supposed to do?
They're supposed to do what the council did in Edgewater, and what you're advising the county to do is to join the lawsuit. And if this is not stopped, it's not going to look good for municipalities all across the state of Florida.
Definitely.
It's not going to go well. Katie Delaney, thank you for joining us. As always, on the Commish Report, my name is Kevin Jeffrey, your moderator. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week on the Commish Report.